without the net that background. Remember, whenever you're ready. I'll say now. Rastafari. Alright. Give thanks. Alright, we starting in the intro right away. Yeah, bless. I'm gonna let time check, eh? You hear me? You have to give me a time check. Yes, definitely we do give thanks for life and the mighty life giver, and we give thanks for all good things around us as sent from Zion above. So we praise Father for his divine love. Give thanks, definitely we do give thanks for his sincere love, and give thanks as definitely this here is I am live streaming on YouTube now, but I am basically pre-recording for our Iivity program, which normally is in the evening of on HTS television here in St. Lucia. So we give thanks as through certain circumstances we definitely, this has to be like a pre-recorded program for our St. Lucian audience that normally gets his live on TV, but it's still a live program for our YouTube people that would basically repost for them again. So we give thanks for all those of you who are live with us here on YouTube, and all those of you who is to join, and we give thanks for all those people here in St. Lucia this evening, specifically spending this divine moment together. As I am speaking in the day, but we will be watching in the night, so we'll be existing on two different and separate realms at the same time. This evening, I just want to just before I begin into my topic, just have a little look at the herbal manual. The herbal, that's my specific copy, so it is basically used because I do use my own book. So this is one of our manuscripts, one of the books that we have written, and specifically it's a book that has traveled around the world, and I wanted to actually take a moment just to go through certain aspects of that book, whereby one could fully understand when it comes to the whole realms of disease, sickness, disease, what really our perspective, our understanding on these realms are, because most people have all types of ideas and assumptions on exactly what disease is, but like no one really knows what disease. So that's why you have to get a diagnosis, to know, right? That's why you have to go through certain types of tests to know what is happening with you, but your physical structure is diseased. So according to the herbal manual, right? According to the herbal manual, disease basically means that what the herbal manual does, it actually breaks the word into two parts. Dis and ease. Now, EASE is when you are at ease, everything is good, you are free from labor, free from pain. You feel huh?
One straight recording will shine and do. Yes, and just slap it on the. I can edit, but I will not have the time before your time comes to do it. Capable. Yes.
Just to cut out and feed it back in. Okay, alright. I don't know what I'm telling people. See, if I put it on your Wi-Fi, so anyway.
Edit is not the difficult thing. Once you leave, to find time to edit it before the time comes is what's the issue.
And look, what's not to worry of edit, eh?
I'm
So start from the beginning again.
If you can, please, and thank you, I appreciate it.
And okay, well, give me. I need a time check,
Yeah, like when you say a time check, you mean just a warning?
Yeah, so you don't have like a countdown. So give me 30 minutes breaks.
30 minutes.
15 minutes. So when 15 minutes come, you can't write on the screen like in a while.
Yeah, I can put things on the screen, but I hear what happened. I made a sign inside. I say 10 minutes left. And on the back of it, I put 2 minutes left. So when it's about 10 minutes left, I will come to you right there. And show you 10 minutes left. So you continue doing what you're doing regularly.
Alright.
And when you get to 2 minutes for your wrap up time too, I'll come and present you that sign. That works, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Alright. Sorry, YouTube people. You see, we got a little phone call there and we had to stop our pre-recording to start again as we live in studio, like behind the scenes. Not behind the scenes really, because we're not sitting, but behind the rights. So pardon us. Yes, so we want disease YouTube, but we're going to have to record again on that other realms. Yes, we do give thanks for life and a mighty life giver, and we do give thanks for all good things around us as can from Zion above. So we definitely praise for right for his divine love, and we give thanks for this divine opportunity, and we give thanks for this wonderful moment. As for our YouTube people, it's like it's a rent, it's like, yeah, we've been here before, but for you, I mean, give thanks. You already understand. It's just like movement in time. So give thanks, and we welcome you to Iivity, as this definitely is a pre-recorded program of our normally live program. So this program, I'm going to make it like a book program, a study program, and we'll be studying from the herbal manual, right? Herbal manual. That's what we'll be studying. And we welcome you, our viewers that are with us in St. Lucia, and then we also welcome the viewers who are presently like live with us on YouTube. We do give thanks for all those of you who are there with us, and for you it's a real living, but for our people here, I mean, they're getting it for the first time. As definitely we thought it important to actually give you a foundational aspect of how it is that we at the Great Physician International and Mon Kailash Rejuvenation Center, how is it that we really, what was our thought pattern when it comes to the whole aspect of how we deal with this is, and we deal with our whole healing and whatever it is that we actually do. So this here, the herbal manual, is a manuscript that was written by myself. You know, this is basically, I think, probably the third print. I think the first print of this book was in 2006. So right now we are in 2020, and the print I have there, I think that print there was 2017 or 2018. Yeah. But definitely we give thanks as we are going to go through the foundations of disease, and as we said before, whatever happened over there and what's happening now in this present time, we were defining the term disease by breaking it down into two separate, the word into its prefix and its suffix, or okay, I don't say suffix, but the prefix and then the rest of the word then. All right, so when we look at the word dis-ease, D-I-S, this. So if you have courage, then you feel encouraged. You have courage. But if you are discouraged, that means that you are not given the courage, right? So courage and discourage, I mean, it is. I mean, this just means that you're not. So you are pleased or you are displeased. You know, you are able or you are disabled, as they would say. So when you are at ease or you are ease, you are free from pain and you're free from labor, and then you are dis-ease, that means that you are just not at ease. So sometimes when it is that we don't really just take a moment to actually break down exactly what it is that, whatever condition it is that we are suffering from, by just giving the definition. And then the realms of examining it is basically going through the whole aspect of definition. What is the definition of dis-ease? It is when your physical structure is not at ease. That means whatever it is that you are suffering from, headache, toothache, toe ache, neck ache, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, whatever it is, you're just not at ease. So you are what you call dis-ease. So according to the herbal manual, as we're gonna have a reading session, the true cause of disease, the true causes of disease, it says negative thinking, that is constipation of the mind. As we often take time out to highlight the significance of clean and pure thoughts, because people don't really understand the implications of negative thinking. And most times you will hear us repeating that over and over again, the significance, the importance, right? The importance of good thoughts. So we don't really even begin the whole process, the whole realms of being diseased from that tangible, that palpable aspect of it. We are taking it from a more thought aspect of it, meaning that we are taking it from the perspective of even before that action is actually perpetuated, right? That thought could actually lead your physical structure into a state of disease. So when we look at the whole aspect of mental disorders, we look at the whole realms of when someone is, because sometimes people don't really take mental health, your overall wellness in your head, how you think, how you process things. People don't really check what I'm thinking, and people just check about, well, my head is hurting me, my back is hurting, and I have a sore shoulder there, man, and okay, that is and that is that, and okay, well, there's a this there and a that there. That's it. But when it comes to the whole aspect of how sound an individual is in the whole realms of the mental aptitude. So if it is you take an average of their thoughts, would their thoughts be predominantly positive thoughts or negative thoughts? That is, thoughts that literally make you feel bad, right? So there are thoughts, there are things, when you think about it, they naturally make you feel bad. You feel bad just because of the thoughts that you have, you feel bad. Or you get upset, right? Or you start to cry. Or start to get regret. So all these things, when it comes to the true cause of disease, that's where we actually begin. Negative thinking, constipation of the mind. Whereby you consistently, your whole perception, your whole thoughts, everything is in your head. Is a set of thoughts that literally makes you as an individual, literally makes you as an individual feel bad. So when you feel bad physically, I feel like that a while ago. Bring on the muted for me, please. Yes, sorry about that. Definitely. We had to go on an intercession because I'm in a full round. So we look at the true cause of disease. Give thanks. So basically, we were talking of the first aspect being negative thinking, meaning that, well, look, constipation of the mind, meaning that your mental aptitude, your thoughts, what you're thinking of, what occupies your mind all the time, what you're thinking all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. These things, are specifically what it does. It actually causes your physical structure to feel bad. So we're talking of anxiety. So when someone is anxious, literally, they develop palpitations. The heart literally begins to just fast heart rate, fast heart rate, fast heart rate. Why? Right? They begin to breathe heavy. So the fact that mentally they are anxious, they think that there is something dangerous there, or they afraid of height, and or whatever it is that the anxiety is, whatever it is from, whatever. Basically, what happens is that the mental state results directly into physical symptoms. Increased heart rate, increased breath rate, even to palpitations, even breathlessness, so the extremes. So from just being good, and then basically a change of your mindset, right? Completely just changes your whole physiology, how your physical structure actually functions. So we then understand that negative thinking, always assuming the worst of things, constipation of the mind, where the average of your thoughts are predominantly negative, bad thoughts, evil thoughts, definitely it will manifest into physical symptoms, and you would get physical disease also, apart from that mental disease. So number 2, we have constipation of the body. So when it is that your mind, with that blockage and that all that negative, that bad thinking and that negative energy, and always assuming the worst of everything, always your memories and whatever you're thinking about get you upset or sad or experience regret. These things, they have a physical manifestation into your bloodstream. So it will cause increased heart rate, palpitations, and all these different things. And then you have that constipation, meaning that you are constantly stagnated on that level. You are right there, constantly on that level, right there. And that's what you are actually perpetuating your thinking. So you are just there in that state. So when you have constipation of the body, meaning that you eat 3 solid meals a day, and then you don't defecate at all. You don't free up your structure at all. You eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you go for the whole day and you don't poo-poo. Then you go for the other day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you go the whole day and you don't poo-poo. And then you go the third day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the whole day you don't poo-poo. You don't free up your structure at all. So some people 3 days, nothing at all. Some people a whole week, nothing at all. 7 days, man. Every 7 days they go one. So every other day they go. One's supposed to actually free up their structure. Once, twice, 3 times a day. So at least if you go once a day, I say, yeah, man, you could. Yeah, okay, all right. But naturally, one should go. You go 2 times a day. You're excellent. 2 times a day, you are excellent. That means that, okay, all right, boom. 3 times a day, oh, brilliant. That means you have time for yourself. So when you get up in the morning and you do your stretches and you exercise and you do your thing and you drink some warm water and some lemon or whatever it is that you do, you drink a cup of tea, whatever it is that you do a little smoothie, whatever it is that you do, and then you go to the loo, as they call it, or to the free house and free up your structure. Right now, sometimes when you are at work on the job and you have lunch At 12, you do have a sensation to go, but most people doesn't really feel like going on the job. So sometimes they don't go on the job, they get home, and then when they get home, they're so tired they don't even remember that they want to free up, so they free up in the morning. But I'm saying that you are eating 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And let's say you are consuming 2 pounds for breakfast, 2 pounds for lunch, and 2 pounds for dinner. That means for the day you have 2 for 6 pounds of consumption. And we're not even actually taking into account, right, the in-between snacks and eat here and eat there that you are doing. We're just talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What you eat for breakfast, what you have for lunch, what you have for dinner. And I said 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 for 6, 6 pounds of food go into your physical structure. And your digestive system supposed to break down completely and absorb only the micronutrients, the nutrients and tiny stuff. So the bulk of what you actually consume is what you call feces or bulk. That's the bulk. So the bulk of what's on your plate is most of the time stuff that you really cannot digest. Right? So that goes through your physical structure, and your digestive system extracts the nutrients from the food, and the waste product comes out as poo-poo. That's what they call it, feces. Feces. Right? But it goes in at a particular weight and comes out at a particular weight. By right, I would just say 50% of whatever you eat is like bulk. I'm just saying, using my own discretion, right? 50%, I would say more, a lot more, but let's just say 50% is bulk that's supposed to come out. So if you eat 2 pounds, okay, by right, so at least, come on, man, drop a 14 ounces, or when you go and poop one thing, I mean, drop a 14 ounces. You eat 42 ounces. So I mean, come on, if a little pump come out, that's good, right? But most times people go breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 3 consecutive days, and they don't defecate. Bearing in mind that the digestive system specifically is like a tube going through your physical structure. So it's like you have the book, right? And then if you take a page of the book and you wrap it through, okay? You wrap it through, or if you do like the center of the book, let's say you take the center of the book, like this. All right, so you will literally see, like for the center of the book, you have this tube just going right through the center of the book, because I have actually created a tube with the pages, and it goes through the center of the book. So if I throw water through that tube, it will just go through the tube. It won't go to the other pages of the book. Right? To get to the other pages, it has to be absorbed through the sheets that actually make the tube. So the water can just go through, floops. Your digestive system, or the digestive tract, right, is basically a tube, right? A tube that goes through your physical structure, just like this, like a tube that's going through it. So whatever goes through that tube is not really in the book. It goes through the tube. To get in the book, it literally have to go through the pages. Very important. So what you put through your mouth, it doesn't go into your heart. It has to go through your digestive system, where it extracts the potassium that your heart needs, or the glucose, right? Whatever it needs, the calcium, it absorbs it from what you consume, gets into the blood, and then goes to your heart and nourishes your heart, right? So it is the micronutrients that's absorbed from what you actually consume that gets into your bloodstream and get to your heart. So It's very important that you understand that when you have stagnation or blockages within the digestive tract, the alimentary canal, as they would say, that means that if the food's supposed to go through your system like for 4 hours, because when you eat some pawpaw and you free up, you're supposed to be able to smell pawpaw. Because you still smell a little pawpaw when you're free up. Your free up still smell fruity, but if you really have to use air freshener every time you free up, that means that something is happening on the outside that is inside of you. Because whatever is happening on the inside of you is really happening on the outside. Because your mouth is not really inside of, your alimentary canal is not really like inside of you. It goes through inside of you, but it doesn't interact with your organ systems at all. It's just a tube that whatever you put inside there just goes through a tube, right through the mouth and then straight through the anus. Doesn't go all, no. Your digestive system breaks it down, absorbs the minerals and the waste, and everything else just comes out as poo-poo. So when this actually stays inside of you for longer than normal, so that means that, okay, you are constipated. What happens is that, very important, what happens is that your colon, that is responsible for the absorption of the rest of the fluids from your feces, because remember, the longer the feces stay inside of you, the harder it gets. So when you're constipated, you really have to work it out, and you have to squeeze it out because it's hard like a rock. Why? Because it has stayed in the colon so long that the colon has absorbed all the fluid from it. Normally, fluid that's supposed to be waste, but you are sucking back in all that waste because you're constipated. Right? So then, to the extent that sometimes when you breathe out, they call it flatulence. When you breathe out, it doesn't smell too good. Why? Because coming from deep in your gut, you have that decomposition. Because your inside is like the inside of your alimentary canal is like outside. If only you could visualize exactly how feces actually smell. If you cut your skin and you put your own feces inside of it, you get sick. So that feces is not really inside of you, it's outside. So the longer it stays there, the more of the waste your system actually absorbs from it. That's why it gets so hard. So if you continually sucking in toxins, literally what's going to happen, your bloodstream is going to be on the rampage of toxins, constipation of the physical structure. That weakens your immune system, makes your blood very acidic, right? Destroys your liver, overwork your liver, right? Just because you are constipated. Put pressure on the prostate, so your PSAs begin to go high, your prostate start to get inflamed, just because there's always that poo-poo, that feces, right in that rectum area there, as so close to the prostate, and put pressure upon the prostate. So you must understand that constipation of the body is not easy, which is point number 2. Point number 3, defective nutrition. So we are reading from the herbal manual, and we are just going through the causes of disease, the causes according to our knowledge. And we're talking about defective nutrition as in the indulgence of overstimulating and harmful foods. By right, by definition, food supposed to be a substance that is life-enhancing and therapeutic. So even saying harmful foods is not really something that should be said, right? Because food's not supposed to harm you. Because a food, by definition, supposed to be something that is a substance that is life enhancing and therapeutic. Very important. So people indulge or overindulge in overstimulating foods, harmful foods that they know that's bad, like the sodas and the red meats and the junk foods. Everybody know what junk foods are, all right? The fast foods, defective nutrition. That's a cause of disease. Poisons and pollutants in the environment. That's number 4. What does that mean? It means that we must understand that plenty of, okay, from the paint on the wall, from the bleach that we use to clean the countertops, right? From the type of rays, the lights that shine upon you actually send upon you, right? From the water you drink, from many of the foods that we eat actually contains carcinogenic substances. So there are lots of poisons in the atmosphere and in the environment. So exposure to toxic substances, right? So if it is that you go and then you interfere with Gramoxone, or you go and boil some, you can put some, every day you put hot water in a plastic bottle and you make it melt and you drink it, obviously you're going to get breast cancer or something, right? So that's why they're moving away from plastics, because plastics has what you call BPA, bisphenol A, which is like a xenoestrogen. That's estrogen mimicking properties. So it literally makes the physical structure, both man and woman, to behave like they are in the presence of large quantities of estrogen. So the chlorine in the water, everyone knows that chlorine is toxic. You just take a little, if you want to know how toxic something is, put it on a frog and you'll see. Because the frog skin is semi-permeable. Things can just enter through the frog skin straight into its bloodstream. When you send a piece of bleach on a frog, you see that frog and stuff, you can understand that how toxic bleach is, chlorine. Toxic. Yet still, we have chlorine in the water. So many of the pollutants, many of the pollutants that's in the environment, right? People, you see, here in St. Lucia, you see banana farmers farming and they're spraying their Gramoxone and they have some of them bareback with a tank on their back and going through the banana fields and spraying. They don't even have a mask, right? And all the weedicides blowing right back in their face. So there are many pollutants, and we know that, right? Overstimulation or overindulgence in eating, pleasure seeking, right? So people as overindulge in eating, so they eat for fun. People just eat for fun. You don't eat because you need nutrients. You just eat because you feel like, you feel like it and it makes you feel good. And, oh, it tastes good. And you don't eat because of need. You eat because it tastes good, right? So make you feel good. So you eat. So if when you were consuming your food, your intention was wellness, then you'd have had several, I would say, meditations on what you consume. Very important. Lack of physical activity and poor elimination of toxins from the system. So it is important that one do like physical activity. You have to, I would say, well, I would always recommend that people farm. Because when you farm, it's like you exercise, if you use the pickaxe, the fork, right, the hoe, right? Whatever you use, you actually exercise, and if you're walking up and down your garden, that's a distance, whatever, that is good. But if you don't have a garden and you don't have space, as I said, to take a sweat in your garden, I mean, probably you could just go for a little walk, a brisk walk. But physical activity is imperative, very important. You have to exercise. So a lack of it could make you diseased. You won't be feeling at ease. Even if you're obese, you're a bit overweight, right? You won't be feeling at ease, you'll be feeling diseased. So, lack of physical activity through a cause of disease, poor elimination of toxins from the system. So you see, when you take a sweat, your skin is one of your biggest organs, or if not the biggest organ. Right? All over your skin has pores, P-O-R-E-S. So you sweat out a lot of toxins. That's why sometimes in case your sweat is salty. Because for water to come out, sodium have to come out. Right? So exercising can help to regulate your blood pressure levels. And when you exercise, it helps in elimination of toxins from your physical structure. Deep breathing. Next cause of disease, as according to the herbal manual, is drug consumption, legal drugs and illegal drugs. We are in a system whereby the side effects of drugs are even more terrible than the disease that they are purporting to cure. There are literally warnings or side effect statements. I mean, when you read about the drugs, so you basically have adverse effects. You understand different aspects of it. So definitely what you do, when you read about side effects of some drugs, it says suicidal tendencies. So you have drugs that people take probably for anxiety. And then now a side effect of that drug is suicidal tendency or death. So legal drugs do make you get sick also. Unhealthy social habits. I mean, that one there speaks for itself. When you talk about unhealthy social habits, that is how you